Is the Samsung Galaxy A50 worth buying in 2020? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. This video is sponsored by Xumi Security. With this app, you'll have peace of mind knowing that your Android device is secure and free of malware. Nowadays, smartphones have become an important tool for much more beyond just making calls. You use your phone for sending messages, banking, storing passwords, emailing, and more. And the process of using Xumi Security is simple and easy. And you can even set it up to do scans on a regular basis automatically. Check out the link in the video description to learn more about Xumi Security. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here. And in this video, we're going to be discussing whether or not you should buy the Galaxy A50 now that we're here in spring of 2020. So this phone was launched about a year ago, so it's certainly not the latest and greatest from Samsung. And since then, we have gotten the Galaxy A50s and Galaxy A51. So if you do want kind of a newer successor variant of this device, then maybe consider those. But if you do want to save some money while still getting a really good device, then you might want to consider going with the Galaxy A50. Now there are two different variants of this phone available, and you can get either of the two on Amazon. There is the US factory unlocked version of the phone, which works with all four major US carriers. And you can currently get that for around $370. And then there's also a GSM unlocked international variant of the phone that's available for $100 less at $274. So if you're with a GSM carrier like AT&T or T-Mobile, then you can use the international version of the phone with no issues at all. But if you do use Sprint or Verizon, then you are going to have to spend the extra money to get the official US unlocked variant. In addition to that, the US version of the phone also comes with a full warranty. But honestly, if you're buying the phone through Amazon, I wouldn't be too concerned about the warranty just because Amazon has an excellent return policy and really good customer service. So if you do receive the phone and it's being glitchy or has some sort of defect, then you can easily return it and then either get your money back or get a different device. But fortunately, Samsung is really well known for their reliability, so I wouldn't be too concerned one way or another. Now, as far as the price goes, at $274 for the international version of the phone, that's about $10 to $15 cheaper than what the Galaxy A51 is going for right now. So you're not necessarily saving a lot if you're going for the A50 brand new compared to the A51. And by the way, the A51 is a better device than the A50. Definitely make sure to check out my full comparison between the two phones on my channel to learn more about that. You might also want to go for the Amazon renewed version of the Galaxy A50, and that's usually quite a bit less than the brand new variant of the phone. So I will be linking that in the video description as well. And it's possible that you could get a renewed Galaxy A50 for under $200. It just depends on what the current and most up-to-date pricing is for it. But now that I've explained the various price points and variants of the Samsung Galaxy A50, let's go over some of the specifications of the device. So with the phone, we're getting a large 6.4-inch display featuring Corning Gorilla Glass 3. The display itself is Super AMOLED. It's 1080p. We're getting a PPI of 403, and it features a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. So a very good looking display overall, certainly very nice and clear. And I think for many people, they would have a hard time distinguishing the quality of this display compared to a flagship device like the Galaxy S10 or S20. And certainly compared to the iPhone 11, which features an LCD display, this is certainly a better option. So the display on the phone is excellent. Now you can see as far as the form factor goes, we do have a water drop notch at the top of the device, and then at the bottom we do have a little bit of a thicker bezel there. So compared to the A51, which has smaller bezels overall, and then also a hole punch for the front-facing camera, this design certainly looks a bit older. So you'll have to decide if that bothers you or not. I think for the majority of people out there though, this is still a very good looking and appealing design, and I'm certainly still a big fan of it. Now in that water drop notch, we do have a 25 megapixel front facing camera, so a very high megapixel count with that camera. And then internally, we're getting 64 gigabytes of storage with the Galaxy A50, And if that's not enough for you, you can expand it with a micro SD card. Now, the device does not feature wireless charging, and the phone does have an in-screen fingerprint sensor. So I know that a lot of people are really interested in that feature. They're a big fan of it because it's kind of a futuristic alternative to having a fingerprint sensor on the rear of your device. But overall, it's pretty reliable. I would say that the Galaxy A51 does have a better, more precise and accurate fingerprint sensor compared to the A50, but it does work well enough so that it's not a problem at all. Now, on the back side of the phone, we have a triple camera setup. So we have a 25 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. Now, if you're not aware of the advantages of an ultra wide angle camera, I'll show that to you right now. So I'll pull up the camera app, and you can see this is with the standard camera. So you can take really clear, good looking photos with that 25 megapixel camera. But then if you want to, you can switch over to the ultra wide mode, and you can see how much more content is able to fit into the frame here. So having that 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera certainly is a great complement to the main camera at 25 megapixels. Of course, you can do portrait mode with both the front and rear cameras as well, so that's also a nice feature to have. Now, the Galaxy A50 features Samsung's Exynos 9610 processor, so it is a mid-range processor, and I'll show you the Antutu benchmark score right now. So you can see that with the device, I got an overall score of 166,734. So a pretty impressive score overall. Certainly you're going to be getting decent performance with this phone, and it's going to be a significant step up from the performance that you'd get with the Galaxy A20, for example. Now, in addition to featuring the Exynos 9610, we are getting 4 gigabytes of RAM with the phone, which is also really awesome to see. Internally, we're getting a 4,000 milliamp hour battery with 15 watt fast charging, which is great. So despite it being a large, beefy battery, you will still be able to recharge it in a decent amount of time. And the software on the phone is Android 9 Pie with Samsung's One UI 1.1. Now, the phone eventually is supposed to be getting an update to Android 10 sometime this spring, which will also give us Samsung's One UI 2.0. But taking a look at the hardware of the device, it is a plastic build overall, but still feels decently premium. Again, I'm a big fan of this really awesome screen-to-body ratio with the phone. It's a very large display, but the phone itself still features a decently compact body. Now, taking a look at the left side of the device, we just have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. Then on the right of the phone, we have the power button and volume button. Then on the top of the device, we have the noise-canceling microphone. And then on the bottom, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. We have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer. We have the microphone, and we have the speaker. And then taking a look at the back of the device, this is kind of like the black-gray color, but it features this like rainbow tint to it, which is pretty interesting. But we get the triple camera setup there, we get the flash, we have the Samsung logo, and then definitely on the back of the phone, it is quite a bit of a fingerprint magnet. But having fingerprints on the back of a device with a reflective material is pretty common. But overall, I'm happy with the build quality of the device. It certainly feels good in the hand, and especially for the price tag being at under $300 for the international variant, it feels more expensive than it really is. So here is the box that the phone did come in. So you can see here Galaxy A50 right there on the front. I'll now open up the box and I'll show you everything that is included. So we do get this little packet here, and I'll empty that out right now. So in here, we just have some literature. So this is actually the US variant of the phone. So we have a quick start guide in English, and then a terms and conditions booklet also in English. But again, if you do choose to go with the international variant of the phone, that's certainly not a bad choice at all. We also get the wall adapter here. So you can see here it has adaptive fast charging. Then we have the SIM card removal tool, and then we have a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. So whether you end up buying the Galaxy A50 on Amazon, on eBay, from a carrier, or anywhere else, I do think it's still a very good and competitive phone in 2020. I will say though that if you do decide to go for the international variant of the Galaxy A50, then you might want to also look into the Galaxy A51 to see the current pricing for that phone. Because again, it is more of an evolution than a complete redesign from the A50, but the A51 is better in all ways. So certainly if you do decide to go for the A50, it is still a good option in 2020. I'm really excited that the phone will be getting Android 10 very soon. And I just updated the phone as well to the February 1st, 2020 security patch. So Samsung is continuing to provide this phone with really excellent software support, keeping things nice and secure, and also keeping things fresh with the phone. So certainly throughout 2020, this phone will still remain really relevant. And if you were to buy it right now, I think you could easily get several years out of it. But I hope you enjoyed this video about the Samsung Galaxy A50 in 2020. If you want to learn more about the phone and also potentially buy it, then take a look at the links in the video description. That'll take you over to where you can get the phone for the cheapest price. But this is Kevin here. This is the Samsung Galaxy A50, and I will see you in the next video.